Professor, taking into account that colors are no more than frequencies of energies expressed by the work of the Orishas in the natural environment, what relation exists between these frequencies and the sacrifices that the Orishas demand?
In order to answer this question, we have to go back to the kind of information that we have given in some other occasion before. It's dealing with the fact that the Orishas are working in synergy in order to produce the life, in order to produce the energy that we are receiving, the energy that is needed uh, in order to get the life arise from this. So, in this case, when they are working, remember that they are producing a kind of information. They are working with the information of Ifa. The information of Ifa is the one produced by the highest consciousness. We are talking about Olodumare. The highest consciousness produced the information, Ifa. And information of the natural state of that information is energy. So, energy is what a system needs in order to produce or to produce a work or to have a work done. So the orishas are working constantly in order to produce that kind of energy and in order to produce life, because life is movement. So, in order to get this work done, they are generating different frequencies of energy. And remember that the frequencies of energy is the one that gives the color. So, if we are talking about this, when an Orisha is giving us a kind of advice to do something, that is what we call a bow. Because a bow, when we translate that word into English, is sacrifice. We sacrifice time. We sacrifice effort. We sacrifice money. We sacrifice customs, habits, a way of thinking, a way of doing. Some other times, we have to sacrifice that kind of habits that we have when we are eating. This is the relationship between what we call ewo or taboo. Ewo or taboo is that thing that is not allowed for us, prohibited. But why? Because when we are generating that kind of energy, that kind of level of heat, that kind of level of color, that kind of level of color is creating imbalances. That's why it is prohibited for us. So, in order to prevent any kind of imbalance, the Orishas always try to give us a kind of advice. This is the part of taboo, ewo, or the part of ebo that we have to do. In this case, we have to sacrifice our customs, our habits, in order to balance our life. Dealing perhaps with something that we eat, or something that we do, or a way of reacting in front of a kind of event that is we are experiencing in the moment. If we are experiencing something that when we have the perception of that event, the perception is wrong, we are going to generate a kind of conduct that is wrong also. But we cannot forget that when we are behaving in that way, we are emitting a kind of energy. We are emitting a color. That's why we have to sacrifice, not to, in that moment, behave in that way, because we are generating a kind of heat that is imbalancing, a kind of color that is imbalancing our lives. When an Orisha is demanding, for example, another offering, that kind of offering, let's say a plate of rice and milk, a kind of sweet, for a Babalawo, is in order to generate that kind of frequency of energy that is needed in order to our life, or not our life, ourselves, generate a kind of work that is going to work in favor of our life, in favor of our health. But most of the time it's not only in favor of our life or health, but in favor of something that we need that deals with, for example, our social life. Let's say a work, let's say money, because all those things are energies in environment. And we have to generate a kind of energy in order to resonate with those frequencies of energy to attract that kind of thing that we need, that kind of thing that we want, that is forecasted by Ifa through a Dafa or through a reading. So this is the relationship that deals with color, heat, frequencies of energy, Orisha, and sacrifices. Because they are the advices, they are the instructions in order to generate a kind of energy, frequency of energy, to resonate with those things that the Orisha are giving us, are sending to us. Because they are creating in the environment that kind of frequencies of energies for those things that we need in our life. For example,